Howdy, my name is Grady, back with my third installment of the Pro Tools Breakdown series, where I'm going over these portfolio pieces and how I made them as quickly as I can. So once again, we're back to BGs BGs BGs. Legend has it that if you say BGs 3 times, you will be haunted by a ambient wind sound 24/7. So basically, the BGs for this, very simple. This is a ambient room. There's a lot of room tone going on in here. The main kind of creative choice I decided to make here was some high cutting happening during that scream to kind of give this feeling of like, it's kind of like the feeling of getting flashbanged in a video game, if you know what that's like, where there's this high pitched ringing noise, except it's the opposite of that almost, where the sound is coming out here to kind of try to emphasize his pain and maybe the scream of this guy, and then it comes back in. And another thing is that part of the BG track is going to be this kind of light ringing. So yeah, this first track here is going to be the one that's more of a creative choice here. This is a mono track of just a light, the kind of hum from a light, and I'm kind of automating it based on how close the camera is getting to one of these light fixtures here. There's a couple of them. So it's going a bit further back now, and then coming back here. This is once again just one of those moments where I felt that building this ambience was helping me feel like, all right, the scene is already there. It feels like this has been filmed and the sounds that I'm listening to were captured in this room. Now going into the details, I'm going to know if it's fitting well in that space or not. So got some room tone, kind of air conditioning wind coming in there. Another layer of the air conditioning coming in now, a bit wider on the panning. Got some more air conditioning coming in the surrounds now on the third track here. And then on the fourth track down, which is actually the fifth track, I should say. This is a much more heavy-weighted air conditioning quality here. And then at a certain point, I wasn't sure if I was going to keep this, but I ended up liking it once everything was put together. But there's a fire alarm that comes in as soon as this fire bursts up and hits the ceiling. And I kind of do the same thing that I did with the BGs that were getting a high cut pass on them. During the pain, I'm just pulling out the high cuts when the camera is getting a little bit further away. So as his head slides down here, kind of gets a bit quieter. Then it comes back in when you're on the shot of Kurt Russell here. A little bit quieter back down on the ground. A little bit louder on the wide shot, a little bit quieter on the focus shot. Just kind of playing around with how I think the space would sound, you know, much louder here now, and then it's going to kind of fade out as they are extinguishing the flames, and then it just cuts out because it stopped, or we're assuming the character stopped the alarm somehow, right? All of these EQs, what I did is I basically just created the panning that I wanted for this main effect of the cutting happening, and then I believe that I just shared the same EQ with every track. So they should have relatively similar automations going on here, but it's not exactly the same. So as you can see, it's just cutting here. This is connected to the high pass filter, sweeping down a little bit, and same thing here. Now emphasizing this chaos of his scream pretty much, and the fire alarm coming in. Alright, so onto the SFX now. There's kind of a lot to cover here and I don't have too much time. So we got a lot of funny sounds in here. I was kind of getting a little goofy with the cartoony sounds, but I liked how continuing to add layers to them, they kind of disappeared and they started working pretty well. That crunch noise is what I was talking about specifically here. Sounds like somebody biting into an apple. It works well when it's put together. A bit of a sliding on the floor here of this guy. This guy, his little legs while he's running away. Alright. I had a lot of gore tracks that I was working on. This is bone breaking, cracking, adding those crunchy, nasty textures in. Man, I had to watch this video so many times, and I think I'm scarred for life at this point, honestly. Alright, into these next section, more gore, I believe. This is all kind of sloshy, goopy stuff. Sloshy goopy, those are some great words. Ooh. And let's see what's going on over here. Oh, here's the fire. So the flamethrower here was made up of a few different layers of sounds. There's quite a bit going on, actually. And some of these big whooshes of fire, heavy whooshes, for the flamethrower itself. That's a fun one. It's a nice sound, but it's kind of doesn't have too much texture to it, so I made sure to add a few more layers. A lot of the fire itself up here was helping kind of create some more layers, and I found that, you know, the main thing with the flamethrower was the initial impact of it, so just having some layers there helped. And then this fun little distortion layer was pretty good to help add that crackly texture. So these guys all together now sounds like. And with all of the fire on top of that, sounds like this. Now we let them burn for a little bit, and then we come back in with the flamethrower. Just for a little bit though. And then yeah, towards the end of the video here, he kind of does a short little fire burst of the flamethrower over and over. Nice. Please burn that thing. I do not want to see that ever again. And here we got the fire extinguishers going off. Making sure to pan these guys all over the place too. I was trying to go crazy with the panning while he's waving his arm around here. Alright, now we get into some fun stuff here. The alien itself, the thing itself, I should say. So we got a huge kind of inhale here. I mixed alien noises that I was finding in the library and some sound effect, like animal noises, doing a lot of different distortion, and using this main aux here with a lot of plugins on it here to create some processing to kind of try to create a new type of alien sound. And that was being mixed with my dialogue. I did a lot of recording of myself just making some gross kind of sounds into the microphone to continue this thing. So for instance, sorry to do this to you guys, but here it is. You can hear me like breathing in the background of that. I didn't get a clean recording, but it didn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things here. So that one was pretty fun. We got these fun Spider Queen recordings that I found. So these ones sound very quiet and distant because they're all running through my aux here. Which the main thing that I used this for was I have this automation on TalkBox plugin, which does this vowel changing. I found this really helpful because in certain parts of the video I just really wanted there to be some different kind of tonal qualities I was getting out of the alien voice, and so I was able to kind of achieve that with this line drawing different vowels in. So I'll share what this sounded like here. So you can see that it's, here I'll open up the talk box. As it goes through here, it's going from ah to e, e, I found this to be a pretty fun way to be able to kind of change how the monster was actually vocalizing through just a complete smorgasbord of random alien noises that I put together. They all kind of just got squashed into one sound into this aux here, and then was basically being shaped by this line. Down here we have some kind of just transitional effects. These things were so laid into the mix that I reused quite a bit of them, but they're just for some tension building here, basically. Just a low kind of rumbling sound, basically. And then the last thing we had here was a door. As he leans back into that door twice. Same door. And then getting into the Foley now is basically just cloth and a little bit of touching there on his hands. And on to the most fun part of the video here for me was the dialogue, because I got to record my dad screaming at the top of his lungs, and that was fantastic. And just also some extra kind of gross layers in here for the monster.
Clear!
I cannot get over that scream. It's so good. And the nasty mouth noises from me. Alright. Now we're layering some of the monster sounds that are going through the aux here with some kind of more up close textural sounds as well, like this growling here, which I did with all original recordings of myself just inhaling and growling into the microphone, basically. Oh god. I seriously never want to watch this video again after this, so this will be the last time. I'm just kidding. Alright, and then after all of that was done, I just used this one music track here to kind of give some scary tension, you know, a horror vibe. It ended up syncing up pretty well with the scene. Nice. And then at the end here, a little bit of a riser for the scene. What are they looking at? And I bet you couldn't tell who this was. You gotta be fucking kidding. Yep, I have no idea who that man is. Never heard that voice before. Alright, and so the whole thing came together just like that, and yeah, I could probably do a little bit more of a breakdown of this SFX. There's just a lot going on here. I think I went through the best I can, but yeah, like all the other videos, the link to the full video will be in the description of this one, so check it out if you have a chance. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.